Hi John, this is the second part of our screencast, and now I will talk about connection. So basically we have step by step how to turn on the telnet, which we will be using for our game, for the networking. So it shows how to turn it on. Then when we open the console with telnet, we have to type localhost and give the port number. For now it's like an example 5100, but it's possible to change that in the code. So if the server is not running, we get the connection to localhost could not open the connection, so get the error message. If there is a maximum number of connections already reached, the player will get message that he can connect because there is no more room for him. Basically, here are the snippets from the code from the connection manager and listening manager. So basically we explain everything on the side, hopefully clear enough. And now I will hand you over to Andrew for logging stuff.
In the login, essentially we just take in the string statements and log them to file. Here is just how we'd go about logging the username and password. We log the username into a file with the password, and then after that we'd have a log for that player's character stats as soon as they've finished creating them. Here we've got a log for a log chat, which will regex through the amount of words that you have. So we did this regex statement just gets a list of words and puts them into the search through the match. They put them into the match object, and then we iterate through the match looking for each word after one, because the first element of the match object is the full entire statement, and then at every element after that we look at it and then iterate through the curse word list and see if that word is curse word, and if it is, we log that instance of cursing into the language logger, and basically just saves the player who cursed, what they said, and the time they said it at. And then for general just logging the chat, we just take the entire statement, put it into the entire statement, the player's name and the current time, put it all into a string, and then log it. And then for logging complaints, there'd be an option to report abuse as well. That's an extra command we have, that it just takes in the complaint message and the name of the defendant or the player that's being accused of say abuse or cheating, and then it'll take the statement, the time, the player's name, and it'll take the time, the player's name, the complaint message, and the name of the person who the player is accusing, and put it into a statement, and then logs the statement. Here's just some things we could do if the server encounters some problems. To keep the game as fluid and to keep the game state up and running as much as possible, we'd be saving the world every, say, 2 or 3 minutes to file, and then just in case the server was to drop off, maybe 2 minutes is a bit short, probably about every 10 minutes. We have the way our game's connections are set up, it's that we have four threads running a socket set on each, so it'd be 64 sockets per thread, so for a combined total of 256 sockets coming in. So if the limit of that is reached, we want to be able to cut off the server from more incoming clients, so we just drop the listening socket, so more players can't join and crash the server. If the server crashes, it will just send the Telnet client the connection to host lost message. I'll just run through quickly the parser pseudocode. We'll be using the entity database, so for this we have a list of verbs and nouns. The nouns will be the names coming from the entity database. We'll be looking through like this. Each statement comes in the form of a word followed by X amount of words followed by another word. So that could be walk to the shop, and then it'll go right word one, and the last word is what we want, so walk shop. It'll recognize the command walk, and then it'll say go walk. It'll look through the list of actions you can do, which is here, so case walk, and then it'll go walk, and then the noun will be shop, and then walk shop, and then the player will walk to the shop. How it does this is it'll just take in, again we're using the regex match. It'll load all the words into the match object, and then it'll take the second element of the match object, which is after the entire statement. So it'll be the first singular word, which is this word, which would be the verb, so do X, and then the last one would be the noun, so that'll be Y, so X, Y, do X, Y. And then it'll just run through the list of verbs we have, so be walk, run, attack, defend. That would be kind of the stuff we'll be looking at, and then it'll return whether or not that it'll say if the verb exists, so you can do it, but if it doesn't exist, it'll say we can't understand that word, so sorry, basically. Here we have it running through the entity database, looking for the name of each item in it, and then if it says that name exists, then if that name exists, it'll just continue on, but if it doesn't, it'll say this object doesn't exist, and then it'll go into do action, and then it'll go through them and say we can do the action, and the verb and the noun will take in the verb, and it'll go to case. It'll run through them and say this is case walk. It'll do move, case walk, that'll be the move object, and that'll be the place it's moving to. And then if it can't find the case it's looking for, it'll just return false and say that I can't do that object, I can't do that right now. And if the noun can't have that action done to it, it'll say I can't do that to that noun. Just there's a brief explanation of what I just explained, and I'll hand you off to Radislav for the game architecture.
So the game architecture, we'll be using the threads instead of threadlib library. We also decide to use the basic lib. Probably we add some functions if there will be need for this. Another library we will using is socketlib. We will improve efficiency of as much as we can to get them up to C++11 standard. The database we will be using just to save all the records into the file in the text files. Each player will have separate file for us, and all players' names and passwords will be saved in separate file. And basically we change already the lowercase and uppercase functions. And there is the snippet from this, how we did that. And we'll be also changing basic lib time to use the chrono to get the more accurate timing. So now I hand you over back to Andrew.
Okay. Just basically, briefly, the handler we'll be using will be the same as the ones that are in the simple mode. If we come across any more that we'll need, we'll just add them as need be. So it'll just be the game handler, the connection handler, the logon handler, and the training handler. And for connecting to the server, the protocol we'll be using is TCP. So this is just the UML diagram of the game as we see it right now. This could change drastically, or it could stay the exact same between now and the completed product. But essentially what we did was we had main, game and player, and how as many classes as we could think of could interact with them. So connection is involved with the game. Main starts up the game, so we have it using that, and then the connection handler is in main, is in game, and the player database is in game as well. And then the entity database is extended by player database, item database, and then you have entity, which is here, and that's extended by room, character, item, which is in turn extended by various other classes. And then we have socket setup here, that's used by the connection manager, and the timer is used by game. And entity, no, that's enemy, it's used by enemy as well, so we can have time-based attacks for the enemy. And yeah, that's
basically we will add that file with the UML, the visual file to upload. So
yeah,
this
is just an image of the visual file that we'll be uploading alongside this document. So yeah, thanks very much, and
thank you.
That's it.